How long did it take him to write his book? What was his daily schedule like for writing? This is like porn for people who love routines.
I also love routines.
Yeah.
And I've spent so much time researching routines to arrive at mine. Key aspect of routine, do the same thing at the same time every day and do the same amount of work.
Same amount of work. So some days you are writing 4 pages instead of 2.
The goal is to do a minimum of 1,000 words.
Oh.
When I was writing the book.
Every day.
Yeah, when I'm working on a book, it's a minimum of 1,000 words every day. And you have this architect, gardener. This is 2 ways of approaching a writing. People have so many different ways to express the same thing. But either do you plan everything out before you write the book, or do you make it up as you go along? I, for this one, fully made it up as I went along.
First book you planned it?
Planned it completely. Because we've written so many screenplays and stuff, that was like almost instant.
Kind of know, yeah.
Yeah, so then I wrote down all the characters, want, need, where do they start, where do they need to go. These are all the chapters, this is the plot. I wrote a beat sheet, I broke it down into chapters, I wrote character moments.
Making it sound so simple, yeah.
I wrote it's not simple, but it's like you're actually writing the book before you write the book. And then you sit down to actually write the text of the book. I found myself just getting from beat to beat. Like I wasn't having fun.
That's crazy.
I feel like I was just transposing I'd already written the book actually. I knew what was going to happen. And so I did write it for the first novel I wrote, but it wasn't fun. So when I started Acts of God, I felt like a week or 2 before I started it, I tried to start it for several months and I would just flounder and die. Because I didn't have any plot in hand. And it was just, the scale of it was so overwhelming that I would just write a little bit and I'd be like, fuck, leave it. Then I would try to do the beats, but I was like, no, nothing, yuck. And a week or 2 before I actually did start writing the book, something strange happened to me that I don't know. Sometimes you feel like you gain access to a different way of being that is very evident. And I remember I was standing in my balcony and I was looking out and I was just looking at a wall and I felt it shift.
Crazy.
And it was like, okay, I'm somewhere new now. All right.
That's what you meant when you said.
Yeah. And I was like, something has happened. And because sentences, just fully formed sentences kept coming to me.
Wow.
And I think they always did. But this way of being allowed me to see them.
To receive it, yeah.
And I was living alone and I was just walk around Bangalore for hours and just watching all these beautiful sentences come and go.
Oh, you didn't immediately write it down?
No, it felt wrong. I was like, let it happen. And
you're not worried you would forget it?
No, not at all. I felt so much comfort and so much safety where I felt like I had access to like, oh, this is infinite. Things will keep coming all the time. And you tune your radio to the ether and you will receive stuff all the time. You already are. You just need to figure out a way to pay attention.
Yeah.
And I started walking around Bangalore, just being inundated with sentences. Then I started playing this fun game where I would look at really boring things and think of really exciting ways to talk about them, just in my head. And I don't know, I used to walk like for hours every day. And I used to walk all the way from my house in Cooktown to Blue Tokai, which is in Indranagar, and back. And Blue Tokai also, I would just sit with my coffee and I would just look into it and just stir it with a spoon. And then one day, the first page of this book came to me. The book opens with storage instructions for this book.
Oh,
okay. This came to me. Store this book in a cool, dry place. Alternatively, you could toss it into a hot, humid hell, sting its places on a clothesline, or crack its spine over your knee if you feel violent. Punch this book in its book mouth. How could it say that? Hold this book by its jacket collar and demand more. Grab its feet and shake the hidden words out of its pocket. Anyway, take this book on a world tour, hold it from a train window, spring its pages like a flip book and smell that strange book smell that comes from the salty mix of ink and sweat and paper, the bouquet of a story. Is it the smell of acceptance, rejection, writing, rewriting, editing, fretting, forgetting? Is it the smell of your own soul? Anyway, it goes on for a bit. But the story instructions came to me and I was like, this I need to write down.
Got it.
And after that, an allergen warning came to me and I was like, this I need to write down. Then the preface came to me and I was like, this I need to write down. And then I was like, let's get to what the story will be about after that. So these things came to me. I came home and I wrote them down and I'm like, tomorrow I'll start.
I just want to add that the context for this is that Kanan's already written a book. So I feel like you have... No, I meant that I don't want people to be like, oh, it just came to Kanan. It's because I think you had gone through the process of writing an entire book and rewriting it, and then you put that aside, and then you allowed yourself.
It's a lifetime of training in this book.
It just all aligned.
Like when I wrote those 2 short stories every day, I did that for years.
For years, yeah.
Until I felt like I had my feet on the ground and I was ready to start the first novel.
It's the whole, when people hear Larry David improvises Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm like, that's because 15 years of Seinfeld, every word was accounted for. Then he was like, now it's time for me to improvise. But it's not, because you've so much knowledge is baked into you now. It's like second nature for you. Hey, if listening to 1 hour long podcast isn't your thing, this is a perfect channel for you. Subscribe for more such short recordings of me talking alone or with my friends. And I won't be a true YouTuber if I don't say like, share and subscribe. Bye.